Right here at the very, very beginning of the Four Pillars program, I want to talk about artist mindset. So much of what we do as artists is stuff that's been pre-programmed into us by parents, pastors, music teachers, mentors like myself. These people have poured into you, and many of them with loving intention, but many of them not having ever done what it is you're setting out to do. So how could they really lead you? Nevertheless, we've packed all of those things in here and we make our decisions accordingly. So we think that once we get to the main stage of a major event, or once we have that radio hit, then everything's going to be different. We're going to become a new artist. But that's really putting the cart in front of the horse. The fact is, those things won't happen for us if we continue to do some things wrong. So I want you to remember this phrase and let it guide you through this course. Pro habits precede pro gigs. Pro habits precede pro gigs. Now, I've heard this phrase and similar phrases from a couple of people that were very, very important in my growth process as an artist. I heard Tom Jackson mention something very, very similar to that. And also an instructor, a director that I had at Disney mentioned it. And so here's the importance of this. We seem to think that once we get the big gig, once we get the pro gig, then we're just going to level up how we are as an artist. But that's not really how it happens. The fact is, we won't get there without first implementing some of these really, really healthy habits. So I'm not going to give you a silver bullet. I'm not going to give you a silver bullet that solves all of your problems. I heard another coach that I really respect and follow named Alex Hormozy. He said, you know what, guys? There's not a silver bullet for this. Instead, there's 100 golden BBs. And I literally almost had to pull my car over and because I was listening to a podcast, I had to pull my car over and think about that for a minute. There's not a silver bullet. It's 100 golden BBs. And so now it seems overwhelming. Like, Paul, I thought this was the 4 pillars, not the 100 golden BBs. That seems like so much to keep track of. Well, here's our goal. Over the course of learning and implementing these principles, all of these golden BBs don't become things that you think about anymore. Instead, they just become the healthy habits that you do all the time. So by the time you walk into a venue or walk into a church or have that conversation with a pastor or do the altar call at the end of a service or concert, by the time you get to that point, you've already done 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 things right, just out of force of habit. And you haven't had to think yourself through that process. Rather, you've grown into the artist that walks in authority and does those things naturally. That's the thriving artist. That's the thriving artist that you were called to be. So let's learn these principles. Let them become healthy habits that you implement every single time you book a new date, drive to a new date, advance the date, promote, market the date, and then try to sell t-shirts at the date. These are going to be healthy habits that you use all the time throughout your ministry. And if you do, your ministry will stabilize. It'll stabilize and you'll have an opportunity to really grow. So let's get the horse out in front of the cart. Let's create some super healthy, professional, pro habits. And those will take us to the pro gigs that we all say we want. Why don't you come along with me?